Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of uh, Isolation Station Discs. This week, or today, I have with me my friend. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Tom Evans. Um, Known Dave for about 5 years, I think. Dave, does that make
Yeah,
sense?
probably just a little bit over that, but yeah, cool. And what is it that you do, Tom? What are your passions? What are your hobbies? And
Career-wise, I'm a UX designer, so I like making websites and designing websites and apps and stuff like that, especially with a heavy kind of focus on user research and testing. Hobby-wise, the reason I'm on this all to do with music, more or less. Play guitar. I try to do some creative writing in my spare time. Nothing published or anything like that. Just more for myself. And yeah, I'm just when lockdown's not on, actually going out and hanging out with my mates, but can't do much of that at the moment.
okay, um, that's cool. What have you started doing since you've not been able to see your mates and you've been locked down? So, what is that one thing?
Yeah, so I think the main thing I've been doing, because obviously I got a lot of time on my hands, is I've been getting into sound design and kind of sound production, and I bought myself some mics and some recording equipment, and I've just been putting some songs together and trying to learn how to do all that. So that's what I've been doing. That's new, I guess.
Fantastic. Okay, moving on from that, what one piece of advice can you give to people who found that they can no longer go outside? Or
Um, I guess I've got like two half tips, which is one, definitely for me. I think I spent a week with almost no routine, and you start going a little bit loopy. And I think, yeah, get back into a routine. Get up and dressed and showered by like a normal time, and try wind down at like a normal time, whatever that is for you. And the other thing is just I always think being creative, whether that's just like coloring in or playing an instrument or doing some writing or something. But I think that kind of keeps the mind sharp when there's not much else going on.
great advice, great advice. Um, okay, so today's not about lockdown. Today's about music. Music's a passion for both of us. So
Hmm.
let's start off with when you were 18. What was that song that means I'm 18 and I'm Tom. I'm 18. What is it?
Uh, that has to be the Arctic Monkeys. I've picked I Bet You Looking Good on the Dance Floor. Don't know if that's necessarily my favourite Arctic Monkeys track these days, but I mean, when I was 18, that was it. That was, that song comes on every night that you go out. It comes on when your mates are around. Um, yeah, 100% that song.
Cool. Um, out of all of the Arctic Monkeys tracks, the one that for me is the B side of that single. Um, and I'm going to test you. What's it called?
That's is it Bigger Boys and Stolen Sweethearts on that one?
It is Bigger
Yeah,
Boys and Broken Sweethearts.
that's
Yeah,
one of my favourite tracks.
it's
That's
my favourite
absolutely
Arctic Monkeys
brilliant.
track, and I so wished it was on that first album. But
Oh,
hey,
it should have been on that first album, definitely.
there you go. It's on the B side, so it's all good. Cool. Moving on from that,
Mhm.
tell us about a song that you brought with you from childhood, and how did you get that song?
I think the song that I chose for this, I kind of chose two songs for this. The first one I chose was Frank Sinatra, "That's Life," just because I remember being very, very little, being in my nan's kitchen, just helping her out, making apple pies and making dinner for the family, and she always had Frank Sinatra on, or Dean Martin, or Tony Bennett, or someone like that. And I think that is like one of my earliest memories of just music in general. and it always kind of sends me back there. So it's 100%. That's why I chose that Frank Sinatra track.
Cool. So your grandma liked the crooners, is what you're saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. And I think
Okay.
that definitely kind of sent me down a road. At least when I got a bit older and I started appreciating that music more, and I start listening to going a bit wider and listening to more jazz and not just crooners and stuff. But yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Okay. Tell me about an act or an artist that you've discovered in the past 12 months.
Yep. So that one I chose Jade Bird, who I think her first album came out last year. She's a singer songwriter, and I heard her. She brought out an EP just before she brought out her first album, and I was like, this is really really good. So the track I chose was "Love Has All Been Done Before," which is I think it was like a kind of live session. But yeah, I mean, I think she's brilliant. I recommend anyone check out Jade Bird definitely.
Have you seen her?
I haven't seen her live. I'd love to though.
Yeah.
After all this is done, yeah.
And whereabouts is she from?
I actually, I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure she's English. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's English. I'm not sure where from in England though.
Okay, cool. So we were going to go see the Nova Twins this
Yeah,
week.
yeah. Thursday wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was St George's Day, and it's a big night in apparently. So we're going to be forced to watch comedians and charity beggars. And
Oh
what.
yeah, I saw that the BBC Big Night In.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But
yeah.
I still think that Major Tom might raise more money than some telethon put on by the BBC. Okay.
Maybe.
Anyway, we're getting distracted. So, music live is so important. And live music it puts you in the same place as all of the other people in the same room as you at the same time. So, what track is it that you think is just phenomenal live? And were you at that gig when that track was played?
Yeah. So I chose. I mean, I chose three live tracks, just because, as you say, how important live music is to me. Um, but I guess the I think one of my favorite artists live, and my probably my favorite artist ever in general, is Nick Cave, and he has a song called Jubilee Street, and the way he does that live is just completely different from the studio kind of album version. And I think it's brilliant. I went to see him at All Points East. He did that track. He did a load of other tracks, and I just love how obviously people that know or like Nick Cave will know this, but he obviously started off very very punky, and I like the fact that even though he definitely his album music definitely slowed down and got more into like ballads and stuff. I love the fact that when you see him live, that kind of punk attitude, that kind of you know that tempo that comes through in his live performances so much. So that Jubilee Street, that version's live in Copenhagen is amazing.
Cool. So, what other live tracks did you choose?
So we got Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name. Um, I I love Rage Against the Machine. They're probably one of the first bands that I discovered like without any um, influences from family or friends. I haven't seen Rage Against the Machine live, sadly. A kind of dream of mine. I have seen Tom Morello live. I have seen Prophets of Rage live. But yeah, I mean, Killing in the Name, that live would be uh, amazing. I'd love to
It's
see that.
pretty amazing. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
I have tickets that is probably going to be cancelled to see them in August in Leeds
Yeah.
Festival, but that's probably going to not happen. But there we are. Well, we'll see. Fingers crossed. Um, okay, so and you said you had 3 live tracks. So what was the third one?
Yep. So, and the third one actually features someone from Rage Against the Machine, Tom Morello, who's probably easily one of my favorite musicians, if not my favorite musician. I've even met him, and that was probably one of the best days of my life. Is
Fanboy
Bruce
Tom.
Springsteen and Tom Morello doing "The Ghost of Tom Joad," and yeah, that again, that's just brilliant. It's a really good song. Um, it's two of my favorite artists, Bruce Springsteen and Tom Morello, and I think they really they're just amazing on that song.
Fantastic. So out of the rest of the tracks, um, which is the one track that you think that people should definitely go and focus on and listen to if they've only got like 10 minutes?
Um, I think I'm not saying that it isn't the best track out of the 10 that I chose, but I think because she's new and because most people probably haven't heard her or listened to her, I think check out Jade Bird. Um, just because I think she she is worth you listening to, definitely.
Fantastic. Okay, so thank you for that. Let's talk about books. So give me a book that you've read that you think's phenomenal and would be really good for somebody to read whilst they're stuck in a room and can't go out.
Yeah. So recently read a book which was called The Noise of Time. That was by Julian Barnes. If you are a music lover, which I imagine if you're watching or listening to this, then you are, it's really really interesting. It's basically about a Russian composer during the times of the uh, early Soviet Union, and he's a really successful kind of popular composer. And one day he basically upsets the wrong people, and um, the
Don't
government.
give away the story, Tom.
What? Sorry.
Don't give away the story.
Oh no, this isn't giving away the story. But yeah,
Cool.
before the start of the book. He's upset the wrong people, and the government basically want to arrest him. But it's just really interesting to see how kind of music was affected by what was going on at that time. So definitely, The Noise of Time.
Cool. Thank you very much. Okay, and finally, what one thing are you looking forward to the most once lockdown's over?
I mean, it's just got to be actually just seeing my friends. You can speak to them over video chat and everything, and we've got the great pub quizzes that you do, Dave. But just to hang out with my friends, uh, go to the pub with my mates, that kind of thing. Just normal stuff.
Cool.
Yeah,
Well, thank you very much for giving us this time in your busy schedule. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it.
brilliant. Thank you so much.
Cool.